What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. And today I'm very excited to check out Nerdy Inventions from Mayday Games. This is for 2 to 4 players. Take about 25 to 30 minutes to play. It's for ages 8+. And in Nerdy Inventions, you're going to be rolling dice with the hopes of building inventions. Those inventions are going to allow you to better modify your dice, which will allow you to build more inventions, to get more victory points, and eventually rule the world. Well, actually, you're just trying to get victory points. Anywho, this is a puzzly, quick filler-esque dice rolling nerdy invention building game, but it's good. Let's open it up. I'll tell you what I think about it. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what's going to get inside of Nerdy Inventions. So first and foremost, we got our handy dandy rule booklet. It is, I don't know, about 8-9 pages, double-sided, full color. It's got pictures, illustrations. It's very well done. It should have you up and running very quickly. So big thumbs up on the rule booklet. Also on the back, they have all the card abilities, which is always a nice little touch there. In addition, you're also going to have this handy dandy little player aid card, which will help you with the rules as well. So in Nerdy Inventions, what you're going to be doing is you are going to be creating inventions. You're going to be creating these inventions out here by rolling 3 dice on your turn and trying to puzzle out the best way to build the different inventions because they will get you victory points at the end of the game. The game will end once this entire deck runs out of inventions, or once someone has successfully built this and done the thing, which will trigger the end of the game. They don't win the game, but it will trigger the end of the game scoring. So when you first start up the game, you're going to figure out who's going to go first by handing out different inventions. So you will start with a different invention. This one, when I tap it, will allow me to go -1 on a card. Each player starting the game will have a different special ability. And these special abilities, as you can see, as you progressively get to 2, 3, and 4, they have a better special ability than the 1 does. Now, you might also notice there's some other numbers on here. So this number is just which player is going to get which card, 1, 2, 3, 4. Up here has to do with recharging inventions, because once you tap an invention, it's not out of the game. It just means that you have to recharge that invention by spending one of your dice in a future round to do it. Now, or a current round, actually. And then last but not least, everyone who is not the first player is also going to get a tool right here. When you use a tool, what's going to happen is it's going to allow you to do either plus or minus something to a die, and then you're going to pass the tool to the player who does not have the tool. So someone will always not have the tool. It's an interesting little mechanism there. Now, out here we have the invention row. These are the 6 possible inventions that you will be able to invent. Each one is going to have its own unique special ability once you invent it, and they are all on the back of here and also on your card ability thing, which is nice. Now, in order to build one, you are going to need to spend this die. So you'll have to spend a 2 and then this little sprocket symbol right here. And that sprocket symbol, the gear symbol, is always going to be where it is in the row. So this is a 2 and a 3. For this one, you need a 2 and a 4 and a 4. So on and so forth. So that is all that symbol means. There's no custom D6 here. They're all plain 6-sided die. So let's show you how it works, because on your turn, you really are not going to have too much to do that you're going to have to remember. First thing is obviously you are going to roll the dice, and then you are going to have 3 different actions that you will be able to take on your turn. The first one is you can use an invention in front of you, and you can use as many inventions in front of you as many times as you can, as long as you're recharging them. So for instance, let's look what we got here. 3, 3, 3. Not a particularly good hand, but if I use this invention right here, what I can do is I can tap this card. We can't say tap though, because we'll get sued by Wizards of the Coast. And now we can make this 3 into a 2. And now we have a 2, 3, 3, which means we can turn around, we can purchase this card right here, and then we can even use this extra 3 we have left over to, boom, recharge this card, which is also one of the actions you can take on your turn. And those are the only actions you can take on your turn. You can purchase cards, you can use an invention, and you can recharge an invention. Did I say those were the last actions? My mistake. There's actually one more action that I completely forgot to mention, and that is that you can swap different things on a row. So how this works is you can sacrifice one of your die, and then whatever number that is on, you can make that one move either to the left or to the right. Say, for instance, we had all 2s instead of all 3s, we might use that ability to swap these 2 right here, and then we could turn around and then purchase this invention. It is a very puzzly game in that aspect. So for this particular example, we purchased this card. That would now be in front of us. We shift everything down one on the buy row, and then we refill the invention row, and that is the end of our turn. Now you may notice that there's no sixes on any of these. That's because sixes are actually wilds in this game. So if you get a 6, that counts as any number you want. It also makes getting this one over here somewhat difficult. But anywho, you're going to continue to go until someone has either depleted the last card in this deck, in which you'll make sure everybody gets the same amount of turns, or until someone has been able to successfully complete this one, at which point the game will end and you will do the scoring. How you do the scoring is pretty simple. You're going to tally up this number on the bottom left-hand corner right here, and then also you're going to see how many different number of inventions you have. If you have 7 or more different kinds of inventions, you're going to gain bonus points, which will hopefully win you the game. Whoever has the highest number of points will be the winner of the game. Will be the winner of the game. If there's a tie, whoever has the most inventions will be the winner of the game. And that, in a nutshell, is how Nerdy Inventions is played. Alrighty then, Nerdy Inventions from Mayday Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros. Let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a couple different reasons. 2 to 4 players, very restricted player count. Also, this game is very puzzly. When you roll those dice, you don't think it's going to be puzzling. It's just like, all right, I have this, this, and this. And you're like, oh, but this invention lets me do this. Oh, and that lets me do that. Or I could move this one on the row, which completely changes what I need to get that invention. And then as you progress through the game and you have more inventions, it gets even more puzzly, which for some people is going to be really awesome, but some people who don't like puzzly games might not be for you. Also, if you're prone to analysis paralysis, this one can have issues with that because there's just a lot for you to do on your turn, despite the fact there's really not that much for you to do on your turn. It's one of those games where you have a lot of stuff in front of you, but you have a little stuff in front of you. It's kind of difficult to explain, but I personally dig that, but some people with analysis paralysis might not dig that. Another comment I have with the game is I wasn't a fan of the artwork or the theme. It feels pretty pasted on. I'm not saying the artwork's bad, it just isn't for me. It's like this really weird steampunk-esque thing, and as many of you know, I'm not a fan of steampunk at all. Another comment I have with this game, it's a very simple game, which is going to be a turnoff to some people. 25 to 30 minutes, they're not going to be able to pack too much of a punch into this game. But if you're hoping for something deeper, meatier, you're probably going to want to look elsewhere. And also, there will be some turns that you'll have where you just can't do anything. It's just like, oh, I just rolled poorly. There's nothing I can do. All my stuff is recharged. And that'll happen sometimes. And the worst part about those turns is generally it'll take you a minute or two to figure out that you can't do anything, so you're just sitting there for a minute or two like, okay, so I can modify this die, or I can switch that card, or I can do this, and it'll be like, oh, I can't do anything. It'll be like, oh. Any other cons I have with the game? No, not really. Moving on to the pros. I enjoy Nerdy Inventions, but with that being said, I feel like it's a hard recommendation. This is 100% a try before you buy game. I would not recommend anyone just go out and pick this game up. I think this is a try before you buy game. That being said, I definitely think I see this as a fun family game. I see this potentially even being a gateway game because it is very simple, and the symbology is very simple to understand, especially when you have the card in front of you, which is nice. So in that aspect, it's easy to learn, it's easy to teach, and I can see this being a filler / gateway / family game. So if you're in the market for one of those categories of games that plays 2 to 4 players, this one might be for you. But still, nothing about this game really wows me. And I feel like that's going to be the case for a lot of people. Like, there's nothing that's mind-blowing and cool. There's some inventions that do some really neat things. But overall, I understand that they couldn't have completely unique inventions, because then there would just be way too much symbology. There would be way too many abilities to stack up, and that could make things bad. But I wish there were more. There's just not enough, in my opinion. I think there's 10 in the game, and I just wanted a couple more. But that's more of a nitpick than anything. So overall, Nerdy Inventions is a game that I did enjoy. And I can recommend, if you try it before you buy it, you're like, yeah, I really enjoy that game. I have a feeling that some couples and some families will really like this game. But for me personally, it just didn't hit the mark. Maybe because of the theme. Maybe because I didn't think there was only 10 special abilities. I don't know. It's a solid game, but definitely one that I can't recommend without trying it first. So that is Nerdy Inventions from Mayday Games. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, do you use the old school light bulbs, or do you have those fancy little spirally ones? For me personally, I have the old ones. They cost way too money. They cost too much money. Like, they're like, they last forever. And they're like, no, they don't. I've had 2 of those go out. And I was like, why did we pay like $6 extra for these light bulbs? They go out. Ah! Makes me so mad. I also have a lot of lights. You know, a lot of lights down here, a lot of lights upstairs. And we have a lot of electrical issues in my house. So it just frustrates the living crap out of me. Because we go through, I swear to God, 4 to 5 light bulbs a month in this house. We got a lot of electrical issues. But that's what you get when you buy like a 90-year-old house. But I'm rambling at this point. Let me know about the question: spirally light bulbs versus round light bulbs. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.